What is going on, everybody? I am back today to do something a little bit different than what I normally do. And if you can't tell on my YouTube channel, I don't always do the same things. I really like to switch it up and do fun things and talk about things that interest me in a particular moment. And I hope that you find it interesting as well. But if you've noticed, I haven't done one in a while, but I was doing a segment on my channel and I'm still planning on doing more called Random Album Reviews, where I was going through and randomly spinning a wheel and choosing an album from my collection of 1,500 albums and talking about it in great detail. And I love talking about music. Music really came into my life even prior to movies and has been such a pivotal part of who I am as a human being. And today's video is a little bit different because I'm going to be talking about a live show that I went to go experience. I drove from my home in Columbus, Ohio, to Chicago, Illinois, to see a little known artist you might have heard of before, Lady Gaga. And I have talked multiple times on my channel about my music taste. I listen to virtually everything. I am not a fan of modern country music, but my record collection holds genres and sounds from all different artists from all different backgrounds. And my music taste has really shifted over the years. And I have completely and totally fallen in love with Lady Gaga's music. I think that when you look at what an artist can be, she really is just very special. She has always been unabashedly herself. She's not been afraid of the scrutiny that the media has given her. She writes a lot of really powerful music that holds really incredible messaging when it comes to acceptance of marginalized groups of people, whether it's her own life experience, issues that she has dealt with, criticizing the American government, all of these different things. She also just writes fun pop songs about love and relationships. And I think it's really encapsulated through her entire career just what a special human being that she is. And I had never seen her in concert before. This was the very first time that I had ever seen her live in any capacity. And I will be 35 years old this year. I've been going to concerts since I was probably 12. I've probably been to well over 500 concerts in my life. There was a period where I was going to 35 or 40 a year, and I love live music. And I will say this without a shadow of a doubt, this is in the top 5 shows that I've ever been to in my life. I think not only is the artistry of the performance of the songs so incredible, but I think what Gaga herself did with this show in particular truly speaks volumes to how an artist can be vulnerable with the people who consume their art and kind of showcase where they're at mentally in relationship to their music and how people perceive their music. And I think that that all exists in the structure of the Mayhem show and everything that she did to incorporate it in there to really bring this message home. And I'm excited to tell you a little bit about it today. So this performance was structured into, I believe, 5 acts that all had different labels to it. And it was Gaga in these different costumes, and there was a multitude of different colors. She had an all white costume, she had an all red costume. Some of them were really menacing, some of them seemed more poppy and bubbly, and a lot of it was these characters at war with one another. And it was so much of the symbolic representation throughout was her going through stages of her career and playing music from different eras in her career and doing different iterations of songs that you know and love and that you've heard before, but in a very different way stylistically. And I, watching it as someone who loves music, was just blown away by just how incredible her voice is, because she truly has one of the most beautiful voices in music. But I was even more blown away with how it felt like watching a stage play. It was truly the production quality, everything surrounding the visual style of the performance. I was completely and totally immersed within the first 2 seconds of the performance. The way she comes out, I really urge you, if you are not able to go to one of these shows, go on TikTok or YouTube and watch some videos of this, because it's truly some of the most remarkable artistry that I've ever seen from a musician. And what I thought was so amazing was you'd see songs like, for instance, a hit that Gaga wrote, like Paparazzi. She played it in a very different way. It was much more slowed down. She came out like on crutches in this really interesting looking outfit. And it was like when you think about what paparazzi is about and you think about the relationship of the artist trying to live their life versus the people who are like stalking you and trying to portray your existence in one way or another. I found it to be incredibly emotionally moving and beautiful while she was performing it, and you could feel her emotion isn't performance. It feels like it comes from a very authentic way. It feels like it comes from a lived experience and just kind of bleeding out to your audience, which is something that I find so remarkable. And I loved that about that performance in particular. I thought it was really amazing. It was clear, like representative of certain eras where she, on certain albums, was much more light and fun comparatively to some of the more darker material that she's written in her career, and like being portrayed as this like clean pop icon versus being portrayed as like a raw, gritty monster, as we know she loves to use that terminology. And the show kind of culminates into this acceptance of, even though you have these different creative outlets and that you have these different ways that you represent yourself, that they're all a part of you, and it is important to embrace that authentic identity and never let go of it. And I think that there's nothing more that encapsulates that than when you look at Gaga's career and the different styles and sounds that exist on each and every one of her records. I mean, she has these really uh, pop heavy banger records that just like have some of the greatest pop songs that ever exist, and then later in her career she can do a folk record, she can do cover of, you know, more jazz swing songs. She can really do whatever she wants in her career and somehow adapt and make it work as an artist. And she was really, you know, vocal throughout the performance about like the reception of certain records and like people supporting her, like an album like Art Pop that I don't think critics really knew how to receive. And when you listen to that record now, it's kind of impressive, a lot of the risk that she took, not only lyrically but just like production value on that record, and the way that she approached songwriting is just really impressive. And she didn't play a lot off of that record, but it was cool that she was able to incorporate things from most of the albums that she's done throughout her career. And the ending was just, visually it was so powerful, and there were so many incredible moments with the production on the stage and the costuming. A lot of her stuff from her new record, there were some really great moments. I love this song Zombie Boy, and she wheeled out this like giant skeleton head on stage and had her dancers sort of dance zombie wise. It was really cool, just the amount of time and effort and energy that she put in to crafting this really amazing experience. And I think it really speaks volumes to who she is as an artist, because towards the end she was playing a song and she was getting very, very emotional while she was playing it because of the reception of the audience, and like talking about how much Chicago as a city meant to her at periods in her career. She talked about the roller coaster of her career and the way that people have sort of perceived her as an artist. And I think it's really hard to be someone who puts something out into the world, even at someone at her level who is obviously incredibly successful, probably one of the most world renowned pop artists that exists. But to see that level of vulnerability and to see the way she still interacts with the crowd, and how you can tell she still really cares, and that it's not just her getting up on stage and doing a thing. Because if she was just getting up on stage and doing a performance, you would know, you would be able to tell. But like, this is someone going on stage playing almost 30 songs, doing a 5-act structure, changing set pieces, going through 5 to 6 outfit changes, and really just putting themselves out there, and also speaking out for marginalized groups, specifically members of the queer community, having people of color on stage in her dance troupe, people from all different backgrounds and walks of life, and really utilizing your platform to say something incredibly powerful. And I was just completely and totally in awe of her performance. I thought that it was some of the most remarkable showmanship that I've ever seen from a musician. And I know most of the shows on this are sold out. I know she's doing like another leg next year. If you have the opportunity and you can afford it, because I know the tickets aren't really the most cheap thing in the world, it's definitely worth it. It's very much a combination of seeing a musical performance with like a going and seeing like a stage play. Really just one of the most incredible things I've experienced all year. That's even like over some of the movies that I've watched. Just really an amazing experience. I love Gaga. I think she is an incredible artist. I love listening to her music. It brings me a lot of joy. I think that she's just a really remarkable talent. And if you get the opportunity, please see this show or at least watch videos of it online because it is amazing. So did you get to attend Lady Gaga's Mayhem Ball? Let me know in the comments if you did. Let me know what you thought about it. I really love hearing other people's perception. And as always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.